I pulled into the driveway of my old family ranch in rural Texas, expecting nothing but the familiar hum of cicadas and the distant moo of cattle under a wide blue sky. After years in the chaos of D.C., where my days were filled with high-stakes meetings and endless bureaucracy, I craved the simplicity of home. A cold beer on the porch, watching the sun dip behind the mesquite trees, that's all I wanted. But as my truck bounced over the gravel, I heard it, the growl of heavy machinery tearing through the silence like a chainsaw through wood. My heart sank. What the hell was going on? Dust clouds billowed from the back pasture, where orange flags fluttered like warning signs in a war zone. And there she was, Karen Blackwell, the HOA president, standing tall in her designer boots, arms folded, overseeing the destruction like a queen on a throne. Workers were scraping the earth flat, laying down what looked suspiciously like the beginnings of a runway. Straight lines, precise measurements. It hit me like a ton of bricks. This wasn't a new fence or a community garden. This was an airstrip slicing right through my land. And they had no clue who they were dealing with. I stepped out, boots sinking into the churned-up dirt, and approached her. "Karen, what in God's name is this?" I asked, trying to keep my voice even. She turned, her sunglasses reflecting my incredulous face, and flashed a smile that could curdle milk. "Alex Thompson, back from the big city? We're upgrading the neighborhood. This is Progress, a private airstrip for our exclusive community. Think of the value it'll add to your property." "Progress? On my ranch? The land my grandfather homesteaded, where we'd raised cattle for generations." I felt my blood boil, but I kept a cool demeanor. "You mean you're building an airport without asking the owner?" She waved it off. "The board voted. The majority rules. If you're not on board, well, maybe it's time to sell." That night, as the machines finally shut down, I paced the old wooden porch, the stars mocking me from above. I'd come here to escape my job as director of the Federal Aviation Administration, not to dive headfirst into a battle. But Karen had just declared war on the one guy who could ground her dreams literally. I grabbed my phone and started documenting everything, knowing this was going to get ugly. The next morning, the roar started at dawn. Asphalt trucks rumbled in, pouring black tar over what used to be prime grazing land. My cows stampeded to the far fence, spooked by the noise. Karen showed up again, hard hat perched on her perfectly coiffed hair, directing the crew like a drill sergeant. "Morning, Alex. Isn't it exciting? Soon, we'll have jets landing right here, private flights to Houston. No more traffic jams." I gripped my coffee mug tighter. "This is my land, Karen. You can't just pave over it." She laughed. "Try stopping us. By the time lawyers get involved, it'll be done. The community loves it." Her arrogance grated on me like sandpaper. Over the next days, the harassment ramped up. Fines arrived in the mail for obstructing development because my tractor was parked in my own field. One morning, orange cones blocked my driveway, labeled HOA Safety Zone. I plowed through them with my truck, plastic crunching under the tires, while workers stared in shock. Neighbors whispered. Some were thrilled at the idea of a flying enclave, like those ritzy spots in California, but others complained about the dust coating their cars and the endless racket shaking their windows. At the HOA meeting that week, the tension was electric. The community hall smelled of stale coffee and resentment. Karen stood at the podium, beaming. "This airstrip will skyrocket our property values. Imagine the prestige." I stood up in the back. "Prestige? You're destroying my family's legacy for your ego trip." Murmurs rippled through the room. A burly retiree snorted, "If you don't like it, move out." But a few others nodded at me, their faces tight with frustration. Karen slammed her gavel. The vote was 75% in favor. "If you block us, we'll fine you into oblivion." I leaned in, voice low but firm. "You have no idea what you're messing with." She smirked, but I saw a flicker of doubt. Back at the ranch, I went full detective mode. Trail cameras hidden in the brush captured every illegal pour of asphalt. I collected statements from fed-up neighbors. Mrs. Garcia down the road said the noise gave her migraines. Young Dad Mike complained it woke his kids nightly. And then I logged into my FAA portal BAM. There was Karen's half-assed permit request, riddled with holes. No environmental impact study. No safety checks. I denied it with a click, but held off on the big guns. Let her dig deeper. The pressure mounted. Karen drove by daily, slowing to yell, "Still fighting progress, Alex?" Signs popped up. Future HOA airstrip exclusive access coming soon. She even started selling membership packages for hangar spots, raking in cash from gullible investors. It was fraud, plain and simple, and it made my stomach turn. One afternoon, she blocked my path with her SUV. "You're the obstacle here. History will remember you as the grumpy rancher who killed our dream." I smiled thinly. "Or you'll be the one who crashed and burned." By week's end, I had a dossier thick as a Bible. Videos, photos, contracts. I called a buddy in D.C., prep a cease and desist. "This rogue, HOA's building an unapproved airstrip." He laughed. "You're going to let them throw a party first?" "Oh yeah." The grand opening flyer hit mailboxes. Ribbon cutting, champagne, demo flight. Perfect. The big day arrived under a scorching Texas sun. Cars lined the road. Investors in suits mingled with curious locals. Karen strutted on a makeshift stage, mic in hand. "Today, we launch into the future. This airstrip makes us El Latino more long drives to airports." Cheers erupted as a small plane circled overhead. She raised her glass. "To progress." That's when I stepped forward, heart pounding. "Hold the toast, Karen." The crowd hushed as I flashed my FAA badge. "I'm Alex Thompson, Director of the Federal Aviation Administration. This airstrip is illegal, unsafe, and shut down now." Pandemonium. Gas turned to shouts. The plane veered away at the sheriff's signal, engines whining. Karen's face went ashen. You can't." I handed her the order. "I just did." "Fraud. Violation sits over." Investors surged forward, demanding refunds. Deputies seized documents. The crowd shifted. Boos at Karen turned to cheers for me. She sputtered. This was for everyone, but no one bought it. Escorted away, her empire crumbled in front of flashing cameras. In the aftermath, the airstrip was demolished, soil trucked in to heal the scar. Karen faced investigations, fines, lawsuits, even fraud charges. The HOA ousted her. Neighbors threw a block party in relief. I finally got my quiet evenings, beer in hand, watching the stars. The ranch was whole again, my grandfather's legacy intact. What do you think? Was Karen's progress worth the fight, or was she just a bully in disguise? Share your take in the comments. Did you side with the HOA vision or the rancher's rights? Let's hear your opinions.